Alright, for this video, we're just going to do number 2. We're going to do the secant of x. I know we introduced this in class with the TI Inspire activity. And again, secant, the reciprocal of secant's cosine. So let's graph 3 cosine of x, and then we'll just really piggyback on the graph of cosine of x by putting in the parabolas. Our amplitude is 3, so that means the gap between the parabolas is going to be bigger. The period, your coefficient for x is just 1, so 2 pi over 1 is just 2 pi. Okay, to start, there's no parentheses, so we're going to start at x equals 0. There's no horizontal shift. Now, if the period's 2 pi and we start at x equals 0, that means we're going to end at x equals 2 pi. Remember the CV, that's the increments. If we take 2 pi divided by 4, that reduces to pi over 2. Alright, the key points, again, the key points I'll put up here. I don't want to squeeze it in too much. I'm going to start at 0. Okay, the increments are pi over 2, so it's going to be pi over 2. It's going to be the normal intercepts in the unit circle. Pi over 2, add half a pi to half a pi, we get pi. Then we get 3 pi over 2. And then we end at 2 pi. Now let's get our cosine values. Now since our amplitude was 3, there's no vertical shift. So if there's no vertical shift, the equilibrium's 0. If the amplitude's 3, I add 3 to the equilibrium, the max is 3. Subtract 3 from the equilibrium, my minimum's negative 3. Alright, cosine, that's the U shape. We're going to start at the max because it's positive 3 in front. So it's 3. Then we go down to the equilibrium of 0. We go to the minimum of negative 3. We have to come back up to the equilibrium of 0. And then we end at where we started with the max of 3. So if I graph the cosine, let's see here, we have 0, 3, which is right up here. We're going to have pi over 2, 0, which we'll say is here. Pi, we're at the minimum of negative 3. 3 pi over 2, we're at 0. And 2 pi, we're at 3. So this is our U shape. So this is what cosine, or 3 times cosine of x, this is what this looks like. So then all you do, I'm going to put this different graph in blue. For secant at all the maximums, here's a maximum, then its parabola goes up to the right, and I know it goes up to the left. Here's a max, it shares this point, it goes up to the left, goes up to the right. At the minimum, it shares that vertex, but then at the minimum it goes down left to right. Alright, then at all the middle points, which it looks like is just pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2, these are where we get our VAs. Okay, that's where it's undefined for secant. So everything in the blue, that's your graph for y equals 3 secant of x. The VAs, let's see here. The VAs are at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. The distance between these, let's say it's half a pi, 1.5 pi. The distance between those is pi. So we're going to say our VA is pi over 2 plus n pi. Remember, n can be any integer. The range is going to be the opposite of the range for cosine. I'll put this in right here. The range is from negative infinity to right here, which is negative 3. Put brackets, then we'll put U for union. Then to get this part, right, it's at y equals 3, and then it goes up to positive infinity. So that's our range right there. Okay, so anything, if you have any secant function, just change it to cosine. Get all your 5 key points like we've been doing for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. Then at all the maxes, parabolas, that's where it meets and goes up. At all the mins, the parabolas go down. At all these middle points right here, that's where you get your VAs.